What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a Hasbro Star Wars Vintage Collection market update. Are there signs of life in 2022? We've talked about at the end of the year in 2021, prices really took a hit for a number of different reasons, which we won't rehash here. But I did pull up everything from TVC 1.0 from 2010 to 2012, all the way to pre-orders and very, very recent releases to see what those resale prices are looking like on eBay. And the first one we're going to start off with is VC13, the Anakin Skywalker in the Revenge of the Sith card back with the Darth Vader name pill. We've talked about this one recently, and another one did just sell. All of these sold, I believe, on January 6th and January 7th. So a pretty nice group of items that have all sold just in 2 days. And this is one that continues to hold its value pretty well. This is an unpunched example. Apparently this Darth Vader name pill is the one that everyone wants, because this one sold for big money, $285 on 46 bids. So lots of action on that one, and it looked to be in pretty good condition. It had one little ding or something there in that lower right hand corner, but probably like an 85 plus condition overall, maybe 85 at the worst. And collectors seem to agree that this is one that they wanted to pay up for, $285. So that Darth Vader name pill just continues to command more and more high dollars, especially unpunched. Just, this is one that is pretty difficult to find unpunched. But a few other early ones. This was a punched example of the General Grievous. This is just the regular card back. We saw a foil one that sold fairly recently for a pretty decent price. This one had some very light edge wear and dings, things like that, but probably like an 85 or 85 plus overall. That one, even despite being punched, which is not that terribly hard to find unpunched, but $122.50 was the sales price plus $5 shipping. So that's a pretty good number to me for General Grievous. I'll be curious to see what they do with General Grievous, whether he gets another re-release or not. This is one that I would think is probably primed for a re-release, but maybe not. We'll see. I also wonder if we'll see General Grievous ever again in live action content. And I don't know if I think because we know he died, we know that that Obi-Wan Kenobi killed him. I just wonder if there's going to be some kind of flashback scenes, or if General Grievous's time has come and gone. But he's just such a popular character within the more recent trilogy canon that it makes you wonder whether they kind of explore General Grievous in more detail, maybe some of his origin, things like that. This is one that I was really curious to see if it would sell or not, but it did finally sell. This was a VC20 Canadian Yoda. We all know that this is a pretty expensive card back. Very difficult to find this Yoda on the Canadian card. It's got the alternate card back photo as well as the multi-language name pill, but still has the standard, whatever it is, the Revenge of the Sith Yoda. And that one sold for $1,480 US, or almost $1,900 Canadian. But it did finally sell. That one just closed a couple of days ago. So, to me, this is probably going to be the high watermark for standard issue, retail release card backs. I don't know if anything's going to touch this one again. We all know that the Yoda is coming back in another rendition for the Empire Strikes Back card back next year, or this year, excuse me. It's 2022 now, and we've seen the recent press photos from Hasbro for that new release Yoda. It looks amazing. And will it affect this one? Probably not. Probably not. I would think that this is still going to hold its value pretty well, given that it's an alternate card back and it's a totally different figure within inside the blister. But only time will tell on that one. Another one that continues to hold its value, and we've seen in past videos, is VC54. This is the ARC Trooper Commander. I just wonder if this one is holding its value or starting to see a renewed interest because of all the new ARC Troopers that are coming out this year. We've obviously pre-ordered a lot of those online exclusives from Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store, but this original Expanded Universe ARC Trooper Commander continues to command big dollars. We've got the animated Clone Wars version coming out. This one was the Europe market one with the sticker on the back, the warning stickers on the back. That one sold for $143. This was down in Australia. I've got a few Australian listings. I know I got some Australian viewers on the channel, and they wanted me to cover a little bit more of international flair for these market updates. But this one was down in Australia. It sold for $143 US or $200 Australian dollars plus shipping. So pretty nice total there for a Eurozone card back with the unpunched and the warning label on the back. Here was another one that was down in Australia. I believe the same seller. This was a two items, a 2-card lot that had Aayla Secura as well as the 501st Legion Clone Trooper. We all know that the 501st is coming back. I wonder how this original issue will hold up long term. But this lot sold for a pretty decent number, $182.54. That's a pretty good deal in my mind for the Eurozone card backs with the multi-language warning on the back, and for two pretty high demand figures, obviously ones that are being re-released this year. And you know, if neither one of these were coming this year, I think you can probably maybe add another 20 to 30% on this price, on the sales price versus what this one sold for. But both of those were probably like an 85-ish grade, 85 plus grade, light edge wear, and $182.50 was the sales price on that plus shipping. I've also received requests from viewers to cover a little bit more of the vehicles, so I did include a sealed vehicle here. This was the V19 Torrent Starfighter from 2011. Beautiful Clone Wars art on that box. It was a sealed example. That one sold for $135 plus $15 shipping. Pretty good condition overall, and I thought that was a great deal for that V19. A couple of Cathabas sold over the last few days. I pulled up one of each. I pulled up the brown as well as the red bandana. This one, you know, I'm really surprised how low this one sold for, but it did have, you know, the photos weren't great, number one. You know, it was kind of blurry. And it did have quite a bit of edge wear, as you can see. Despite the blurriness of the photo, it did have some edge wear there at the bottom that was very apparent. Front of the card looked pretty clean, though, and it was an unpunched example. But this is probably another lesson in, hey, if you got an item for sale at auction, you might want to take better photos, because 2 photos just don't cut it, and the price reflected that. It sold for $80 plus $10 shipping. Not too much lower than where this thing sells when it's a very near mint plus example, but I think he probably could have gotten a little bit more there if he had some better photos. And then a red bandana also sold. This was again down in Australia from that same seller. It was a nice Eurozone stickered card back, and the red bandana, this one sold for $101. And you know, again, this is one that would go for quite a bit more money, I think, if this was being sold in the U.S. It's just a very difficult one to find here in the U.S. market. But that Cathaba with the red bandana did sell for $101 US, 141 Australian plus shipping, and that's a pretty good deal. Ponda Baba has also come back down in price a little bit. Walrus Man, this is the US card. It was unpunched, really nice clean one with the Boba Fett prototype offer, and this one sold for $91 plus roughly $5 shipping. That's a little lower than where this has been selling in the past. It did look really clean though, and I'm a little surprised that one was sold as low as it did, but I mean, it's just hard to predict what these VC, you know, the TVC 1.0s are going to do in the current environment. One that we've talked about recently in recent videos is VC97 Oddball. This one continues to get pretty high prices. This was a $125 sale plus $10 shipping. It did look pretty near mint, and the seller had plenty of great photos. But $125 is, you know, $100 to $125 is kind of the new going rate now for Oddball. And like we've talked about in past videos, I think part of it is because Oddball has a pretty low chance of being reissued. So people know that, hey, if I buy this now, it's probably going to hold its value. And I mean, it's up a good solid, let's call it 20 to 25% in price over the last 6 months. It would not be a market, and I haven't done one in a while. In all fairness to me, I haven't done an Ahsoka in at least a video or two, but this Ahsoka VC102, another data point here for those of you still thinking about buying the original issue now that the price has come way back down. This was an unpunched example, pretty terrible photos overall, but it did look pretty good. I mean, you know, it looked, despite the kind of lack of detailed photos, it's probably like 85 to 85 plus condition. That one sold for $316, kind of in line with where we've been seeing the new normal for the original issue of Ahsoka. It's kind of 300 to 350 is the going rate now, and well off the highs that we saw last year. VC109, the Clone Trooper Lieutenant. This was a nice clean example. That one sold for $125 plus another $14 shipping. Another really pretty card, but these clones are always going to be in high demand, in my opinion. A couple of data points here for the prototype Boba Fett. a little bit higher than where we've seen this one. This one has been kind of typically in the 125 to 140 range, but this one sold for $180, and this one did come with the mailer box, and the Boba Fett itself was in great condition. And I thought I had another one, but if not, that's just kind of where this Boba Fett has been selling, this prototype armor Boba Fett. It's been kind of, the last few sales that I've seen have been kind of around 180, which is definitely an uptick versus the last few months where it's been more like 130-ish. I thought this was kind of funny. This is an interesting one. This was VC-146 Luke Skywalker crate, but it was a cut card. And it still sold for $65 with free shipping, which I was shocked by that. And, you know, I knew that Luke crate was in high demand. And, you know, in all fairness, mint on card, it goes for this or quite a bit higher now. But $65 for a cut card is just unheard of for a TVC. But that's what it did sell for. And this is a legitimate seller. I've bought from the seller in the past before. And but I was really shocked to see that sales price for a cut card TVC. Another unique item that I wanted to point out, and I wish I'd seen this. I don't think I would have bought it personally, but it's really cool. This one was a gorgeous Clone Commander Rex VC-182, but it was signed by D. Bradley Baker, who was the voice for Captain Rex within the Clone Wars cartoon. And really cool how it's signed in like this really bright, bold blue magic marker that matches the name pill as well as behind the blister really well. So this was an awesome item. It was listed for $120 with free shipping, and it was best offer accepted too. I would have been really, if I had been able to get that for $100, I would have been really tempted to buy that. That was a really good deal. Whoever got that, I'm very jealous because, you know, it's kind of cool. That, you know, the Clone Wars is always going to be in demand, and we all know that the animated Clone Wars series is pretty popular among collectors. And so to get the voice actor to sign a TVC, especially with that bright blue magic marker on the card, that's a great deal for $120 or less, which clearly it was. Best offer accepted with free shipping. So kudos to whoever picked that one up. Another couple data points on more recent releases, as well as some kind of pre-order data. This was the Antok Merrick VC-204. This one did have that scratch along the 4+ in the upper left-hand corner that we've talked about. That seems to be a packing error. And the price has come back down quite a bit on this one. We talked about it was kind of $100 plus, and then it dropped down to $90 and then $80. This one sold for $66 on free shipping. So clearly Antok Merrick has come back down, especially if it's got that factory packaging defect with that scratch along the card back there. A couple of really surprising data points. This one wasn't too surprising. This was a Bad Batch 4-pack in hand. And what I had mentioned in past videos is, hey, don't buy that Bad Batch 4-pack until you see what kind of condition it's in. Well, I'll give you a tale of two different regions and how it's affecting prices. This one in the UK, where the price for the Bad Batch is probably at its lowest because you guys have already gotten yours, right? This one sold for 100 Great British pounds plus another $27 shipping, or 135 US dollars. So that's over there. Now, what do you think it is over here in the US when it's in hand? I think I skipped there. So this one just sold yesterday, January 6th. This was an in-hand seller in the US, in Pennsylvania. This one on 13 bids. This was at auction. This was not an impatient buyer. This was at auction. It sold for almost $300 and over $300 once you factor in shipping. So that is a gigantic number, and it shows you how impatient the U.S. market collectors are to get their hands on this 4-pack for it to sell for $300 plus shipping. Just crazy. Another example of some of these Droids figures. Obviously, the C-3PO has come way down in price because it's kind of everywhere now. It's very easy to pick up. I've seen it as low as sell for as low on eBay as $16 US for the Droids 3PO. But the Fett and the R2 continue to command pretty good dollars. This was for all three of them. It sold for $135 US plus shipping, $55 shipping if it was shipped to the US. So that's a big number. But probably, if I had to guess, this probably was a US buyer who was willing to pay that exorbitant shipping fee from the global shipping program just to get their hands on the Fett and the R2. So another data point there. But this is the shocker. I mean, this Bad Batch 4-pack that was in hand in the U.S. selling for $300 at auction is crazy money. Also, I wanted to briefly cover an item that I don't think we've talked about in the past, but I did pull up some data points for the 4-packs. And one of the 4-packs, obviously, is this Stormtrooper 4-pack. This one has been selling for $75 on free shipping, so that's a big number. One of those is sold, 2 of those are still available, but that's a big number for that 4-pack. Here was another one that was 2 of the Stormtrooper 4-packs for those army builders out there. That one sold for $126 after shipping. And then I also pulled up the Rebel Fleet 4-pack. That one sold. This seller had 3 of them for sale for $100 plus $11 shipping, and all 3 of those sold. So that is just crazy money for those 4-packs. It's a really great box art, though. I like looking at that. And then finally, I wanted to point out this Deluxe Book of Boba Fett, the Tatooine version of Boba Fett that just went up for pre-order. This seller had 3 of them, or excuse me, had 6 of them. 3 of them have sold at $65. You can go, folks, you can go to Big Bad Toy Story right now and get it for less than this. Okay, so I'll just put that out there. But there's 3 of them still available. 3 of them have sold at pre-order for $65. But just if you want to pre-order this and you haven't already, go to Big Bad Toy Store, because I think they've still got some for sale as of the making of this video. But $65 is kind of the going rate on eBay anyway. Anyway, I hope you found this information useful. If you're new to the channel and you like this kind of price information, please subscribe, as it helps out the channel. Please leave a like and your comments below with any recent pickups or any thoughts on this video. And to all my existing subscribers as well as my Patreon supporters, thanks so much for watching and for the channel support. I will be back soon.